He asked me to come over here, and that's when he waved me over.
Come here.
So I ran to the officer and asked him, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? What's going on? And he asked me to go over there to make sure there's nobody else hurt. Is there anybody else, like, injured? Is there any bodies laying down on the floor? And I'm like, bodies? I was shocked. I was like, what's going on? Yes, and he told me to get everybody back. So I told everybody, please move back, move back, move back, move back.
It was right here in the spot that I'm standing tonight where Toronto Police Constable Ken Lamb apprehended suspect Alek Minassian following Monday's horrifying van attack on Yonge Street just behind me. Now, as Lamb approached Minassian, the suspect gestured to his waist not once but twice, pointing at the Toronto Police Constable. Now, the fact that the officer didn't shoot the way he handled himself is making international headlines. Now, while all this was unfolding, right across the street here, the two individuals pulled up in a vehicle. They pulled out their phones and they began recording what was happening right in front of them. And tonight, City News spoke with them exclusively.
Come on, get down. Kill me. No, get down. Get down. I have a gun in my pocket. Get down. I have a gun in my pocket. Get down.
In the moment, as you saw him gesturing, as you saw him pointing at the officer, did you feel he had a gun? Did you feel there was a chance he had a gun?
Absolutely. There was a moment where we lined up with the suspect and the police officer, and it almost seemed like the gun was pointed at us. And at that point, I was trying to hide, literally right, like underneath.
Is that when the camera kind of goes down a little bit on the dashboard?
Yeah, because I took off my seatbelt and I'm just like, holy, and you know what I mean, just trying to hide and not get shot, because I really did not know what was going to happen at that point.
We now know Minassian didn't have a gun. Zaid Yukub was sitting shotgun with two other buddies in the car as the whole scene unfolded. They thought the suspect had just robbed the money source on Points Avenue at Yonge, just south of Shepherd. At that moment, is it fair to say that you were fearful of your life?
Absolutely. I was fearful for my life. I was fearful for the officer's life. I was fearful for everybody's life around. If it was a gun and if you would have shot, who knows? I might not be sitting here today.
Jakob had another friend in the vehicle who asked we conceal his identity. He got out and also began recording the incident on his phone, initially telling his friends to get down.
You guys, get down.
Then Constable Lamb, who was all by himself, asked him to come over and help once he had taken down Minassian.
Come here.
What was the officer's manner like when you went over and he asked for your help to go make sure that people weren't injured?
His mannerism was kind of in a, of course, state of shock as well, but very calm. Not very calm, but very calculated again. Like, he knew exactly what he had. He knew exactly he got the guy. He knows he has full control of him. He knows he has de-escalated the situation, and he has the guy in his custody.
He appeared in full control?
Yes, full control.
Both are adamant that when Minassian gestured to his waist not once, but twice, they thought he could have a gun. Today, all they have is praise for the way Constable Lamb handled the situation.
When you think about an officer, that's what they says, like, serve and protect, and he actually served and he protected every situation, and he protected us, and he protected, like, he dealt with the situation amazingly.
If I was in the officer's situation, the officer was alone at that point. I don't know what I would have done, but I know for a fact that a lot of things do go through a person's head at that point, and it's not an easy decision to make. However, it is a decision of, you know, do I shoot or do I get shot at?
Now, the friends say they got back in their vehicle and they headed down Points Avenue here. They hung out right on Yonge Street and headed south to the 401, unaware of what had transpired to the north of them on Yonge Street. They say it was about 45 minutes until they realized what they had actually witnessed. They say their thoughts go out to everyone injured, all of the victims. They're still trying to comprehend themselves the loss of life that happened here in our city on Monday. Now ahead on City News, Toronto Police will discuss how Constable Lamb conducted himself. Roger, earlier on City News, we had two exclusive interviews with two men who pulled out their phones and began recording the moment that the Yonge van attack suspect Alek Minassian was apprehended by Toronto Police Constable Ken Lamb. And tonight we're learning more about Lamb. He's a traffic response officer who works for Toronto Police Service, and he's worked for them for 7 years. He was an engineer for 14 years before the 42-year-old decided policing was his passion. Lamb was not assigned to the call, but he bumped into the suspect and made the arrest. According to Deputy Chief Peter Ewan, he did everything his training has taught him.
You know, every year we have to go through in-service training every day. Every year our frontline officers have to go through 3 days of rigorous frontline training, not only tactical, but also in class, talking about the escalation, talking about symptoms of, you know, people wanting to be shot by police officers, symptoms of mental illness. So all the stuff plays a part, and it's not a one-year episode. This is a continuous curriculum that we reinforce, reinforcement. And I'll say to you, one word is reinforcement. I want to make it clear for media and the public to understand why he's not available right now. First of all, he is the key witness of a multiple homicide. He will be required to attend court in the future months to give testimonies. So anything he may say to you during any interviews or any public appearance may be used in an open court setting as evidence. So that's the first most important reason. Second reason, anytime an officer goes through a traumatic experience, as you can realize, that was a split decision, life-altering experience for Officer Lamb. The public has bestowed it on him that the hero status. He doesn't want it, but he's very appreciative. But he believed when he decided to leave his job as an engineer in midlife to join this job, he believes he made a right decision. What can I do for this community? In fact, that he realized his dream. He did something for the community.
As you can imagine, for all involved in this week's tragic incident, it is taking a toll. Constable Lamb says following his shift on Monday, he was unable to sleep. It's likely a shift they'll never forget.